Okay, I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I have been meaning to clean my carpets, but my air conditioner has been a piece of crap lately, and it finally seems to be working after the maintenance people came out for a second time. So I'm going to shampoo my carpets, and I figured this is a good opportunity to take out the Windsor Wave, the 28 or 30 inch monster vac. So it's like, obviously I've cleared everything out of the living room. I'm gonna just go along the edges with my pneumatic Henry here, the two-stage one, just because I felt like it. And yeah, and I have the excuse the mess, because it's not a very big living space, and I'm gonna do the bedroom, so I can't put stuff in there. And then I don't think I've ever actually done a video demo of my custom Mytee extractor. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and clean up the edges, and then we're gonna get out the Windsor Wave and make some passes with that. And then I'm gonna use some rather than use my usual Lindhouse formula, I'm going to be using this Autobahn cleaner. And I think this stuff isn't supposed to have a residue to it either, if memory serves. I ended up picking this up because my older cat had diarrhea and he was like crapping all over the place. So it's like I wanted something that would definitely take care of the potential odor problem that might cause. So it's like I have a gallon of it and it's like, okay, well, let's use some of it for this. So I'm gonna put that down with a pump sprayer, gonna agitate with the CRB, and then we're gonna follow up with the Mytee with just some clean water. It's like, I don't know how long this video will go on. I will probably do kind of a time-lapse sort of thing with some of the more, well, we'll see. I guess I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet. But I'm going to put this on the tripod and get to work. Not too well known in the States, but I do love Henry, despite a fellow collector, Rob, or Robert, referring to it as the evil Smirky or something along those lines. I think it's cute, and it's got good power to it. Can't go wrong. But with the edges now cleaned up, let's get on to one of the piece de resistance, if you will, and get the monster moving. Yeah, you guys probably don't want my butt in the camera. So this machine was picked up by my fellow collector friend Josh, who lives in the Twin Cities area. And from what I remember, he told me it came from like a church or something like that. So I'm assuming whoever was cleaning it just kind of got fed up with using it, because of course it's big, it's bulky. I think it weighs about 150 pounds or so. So yeah, definitely not easy to get around from place to place. And I'm sure, as you guys might be able to see, it is covered in a layer of dust. Probably from when I did a little bit of woodwork in the vacuum room. I was making I was refitting my lawn storage solution. So, if you guys haven't seen the video on this before, this is a triple motor machine. So we have two motors on the inside of here. We got two suction motors, and then we have a motor to run the brush. And while this does have an onboard hose, I've really found the hose not to be all that effective. So it's like we're just skipping the hose and we're just going to use something else to clean edges. So, that said, it is something using that. It really is, especially in a home space. I mean, you know, it's one thing to use it in a completely wide open area, but you know, when you're dealing with such a small space, it's like this is probably the quickest deep cleaning I have ever done of the living room. Obviously, I won't be using it in the bedroom because I mean, there's just too much stuff to get around in there, so that's not going to happen. But I'm going to go and get my sprayer ready. So I think while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna pause things. Yeah. Obviously, the cats are gonna have to move, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I'm just going to start applying pre-spray. I've never actually used this for pre-treatment, so this will be interesting. Just, well, I'm sure it will make somewhat of a difference, you know, adding some agitation to it, but I guess I'm just not sure how big a difference it makes. measure. Well, I'm a little disappointed that it really didn't pull out some of those kind of marks or the impressions from the furniture. But, you know, it is what it is. And of course, you know, these brush machines always tend to find a lot of pet hair and other fibers that your vacuum misses. It's like that Windsor has about like 4 or 5 rows of bristles on it, so I would expect it to do a pretty good job with hair, but, you know, how well are those bristles going to stack up against these? I mean, this is all brush, so. And just to be sure this thing doesn't time out, I'm going to start another video. So, for those who haven't seen my my video on the description of this machine, this Mytee 2001 CS was a project machine I picked up years ago from a guy who ran an auto detailing business. He only wanted $50 for it, so it's like, well, here's my opportunity to finally get my hands on a professional piece of carpet cleaning equipment. Now, of course, being me, I just had to look into it and see what this machine was capable of. And it really wasn't a very capable machine. It only had a 100 PSI pump. It did have a heater in it, which I removed, and then the motor in it was a 3-stage 5.7 that had a maximum airflow of about 100 CFM. And for me, that's not good enough. So it's like I gutted this machine. I got rid of the heater because I didn't need the high power draw for it. And be nice. Leave him alone. I put a strong, hey, be nice. So much for that. So I got rid of the 5.7 inch motor and I put in a 6.6 inch tangential bypass motor. Now I ran into some difficulty with that because I couldn't find a manifold that was meant to mate this machine to the motor. And since the company I was buying from didn't have a welder on hand and they couldn't put like a stub tube for me to just connect a hose directly to the motor on, it's like I turned to 3D printing. So I had a guy create a scan of the motor, I built the manifold on Tinkercad, printed it off, and it's been working fine ever since. And then the pump came from a Windsor Compass 2. I got a really good deal on a new pump. And those are rated for about 700 PSI, but I turned down the diverter valve or whatever you call it. I can't remember at the moment. But either way, I turned that down because you don't need 700 PSI for carpet cleaning. I've been told for wand cleaning you want like at least 200. I've seen some wand cleaners go up to about 500. So I got all those parts. I got a hose just 15 feet, and then I picked up this wand, which is it's a Trident wand from I think it's US products, and I ordered this from Janitorial Superstore, and you might be noticing it doesn't have the little handle grip on here. I think it came in the box and I might have accidentally thrown it away without ever knowing it was in there. Because I just assumed, oh, this must just not have one. So, yeah, I've been meaning to get one and just haven't, but I think I've rambled on long enough. Let's actually see what this machine does. So, I'm going to try to go more from the side rather than having my back to the camera so you can see it running. always a workout. Always a workout to do that, but I mean... Oh, whoops. My phone thing came loose. Funny. Yeah. It's like I like to do back and forth paths with the water on, and then I go without the water, just to get up as much as I can. It's like, I'm sure some people would say, you know, I need to be careful of over-wetting it, but it seems to work just fine, and I want to ensure that I'm not missing any spots, because, you know, I don't shampoo like this every day, every week, even every month. So yeah, about a 10-gallon tank, and I would say we've used 7, 8. It's like I didn't have it completely full, but it was pretty full. So let's see how bad it was. And I'm sure I'm gonna probably have to stop this. Yep, I'm gonna have to make a second trip with the bucket, that's for sure. Because I don't want this full to the top. Ew. And let's stop this there. I'm going to go dump this. Huh. I thought there'd be a little more in there yet. Well, definitely still a little bit of grittiness in the bottom of there, but nothing horrible. Well, that wraps things up for this. So I'm gonna go dump this out, and I'm going to go use my I'm gonna go do the bedroom, and I'm not gonna record that because that's kind of a tight space, and that just seems like it'd be kind of a pain. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed finally seeing me use the custom Mytee.